Enki, the last tablet which was finally translated. In 1964, Shepherd boy stumbled across something in the hills outside the Mosul, and he found that a clay tablet which was buried under the underground 3 feet, and the tablet was covered with a layer of cuneiform script, and which was still our scholars were refused to translate, and the tablet describes the explicit details that the genetic engineering, the process that creates a homo sapiens, and it was not metaphorically, not symbolically, and the instructions are technical, surgical, and scientific, and according to the handful of the linguistics, and who had read complete the text, they describe it is a modern human understanding of DNA manipulation was a terrifying accuracy, and the Sumerians who was appeared overnight around 5,000 years ago. 5,000 years ago, they were 5,000 years ago, with no evolutionary predecessor. They have the advanced mathematics, and they have the they have the astronomical charts. They have the astronomical charts that consist of astronomical that are accurate with our minute, and a legal system, which is more sophisticated than anything, and which are Europe will see after 4,000 years. Here, the astronomers were irritated by the Sumerians, that they claimed that they were not invited anything of it, and they described that they all given from the sky god Enki, Aninnaki, the Aninnaki god who came from the sky, and the god made the primitive beings for gold mines, and the god who want to make the primitive beings, including mixing their essence with the beings who are already present in the earth, and for centuries, for decades, this was not agreed by the scholars. They did not agree for this. They thought that is a mythology stories, and which were not understood by them, and the linguistic Zechariah Sitchin spent 30 years on translating the thousands of tablets, and which were academy conveniently ignored, and he found that it was not the mythology scripts, and it was laboratory manuals. And the 1964, the tablet which was discovered in Enki, the tablet, the 1964 discovered was stored secretly stored in the basement of the Iraq Museum. Iraq Museum, and until the period of 2000, the chaos of 2003 appeared, and after that it was entirely disappeared, because it is consist of something that should not exist, and step by step the step by step account of genetic modification was written before 5000 years before, and Watson and Crick describe Watson and Crick discovered the double helix and the double helix and the Enki, the god of Sumerians, god of wisdom and the creation describe the process of the scientific research and the documentation and the experiments. The experiments. The details are impossible to dismiss as a coincidence, and the text begins with the problem, and the Aninnaki, God has traveled to the earth 4,000 and 50,000 to mine gold, not jewelry, not currency, but for the home planet Neighboru had a crisis, had the atmospheric crisis that required the gold particles, and gold particles